What's up? It's Keith Kalfas with the Landscaping Employee Trap, the YouTube channel where we talk about starting your small business from the ground up if you came from nothing. And today we're actually on the freeway right now here with one of my best buddies, Eric Reno, and we're driving out to Bloomfield, Michigan to take some drone shots and photography of a roof that he did. And I'll tell you who he is right now. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know my buddy Eric. I put him on the videos once in a while, and he has a very unique and fascinating story, and we're gonna do a little Q&A with him. He was flat broke, living in not there's anything wrong with that, but you know, poor upbringing, just like a lot of us, with nothing. He had kids at a young age. At one point he was homeless. He worked dead-end shitty jobs, just flat broke, and he even used to be a rapper. We used to do music
Long time ago,
and it was fun.
Eric, just like what, 5 years ago, were you a rapper?
I was.
Shows your tattoos on your hands. Come on. That's the rap group.
Literally watch the mistakes we're going to make and the things that make us where we go.
We used to do music
Long time ago,
and it was fun. But things have totally changed because he changed them, and I'm going to ask him, but I just want to let you know real quick. They did 16 roofs last week, so he has 40 to 50 employees out right now working, 3 crews, a full office staff, and 22 real estate properties, and he's busy as hell on the phone nonstop, and he probably did 180,000 this week. Last week in revenue. And he's starting his YouTube channel, and the reason we're going is he's got his YouTube channel, and we're thinking of the name of it right now. But anyways, I want to ask you,
get it together.
So you've got this much stuff going on. A lot of people, when trying to grow their business, which I have these same struggles and things like that, is people think if I'm already so exhausted and running on a wheel just to maintain what I'm doing now, I can't do that. I can't do more. I can't take on more without things in my life falling apart. Like, how do you take on more, or systematize it in a way to where you can still be happy and quantify your lifestyle and your income and your...
Well, I think everything evolves and grows a little bit at a time. So as you're taking another bite and another bite, you'll have more problems, more issues, but you also have more financial backing to where you can bring in more employees, an office manager, an accountant, somebody to help you, an assistant, or however you want to structure your style of business. So I think everything just grows as long as you're growing and consistently. You know, you should be nervous sometimes. There should be things you're nervous to do. That's growing. It's like growing pains when you're a teenager, you know. Your business is growing, so in turn, you're getting anxiety and you're nervous, but also you're fired up because you're reaping the benefits when you get those. You know, you made $5,000 a day or $10,000 in a day. The first couple times you do stuff like that, it's like, okay, what can I do now? What can I do now? So it's a state of constantly and consistently growing, taking chances, but also making sure you're not turning down an opportunity that's looking you dead in the face.
Not turning down an opportunity that's looking you dead in the face. So if there's something that's an opportunity, it's like, whoa, it's beyond your comfort zone.
Right.
You
I mean, you never want to take
yourself?
Well, I don't know if you want to force yourself. You don't ever want to take liability for something you're not ready to do. Like if somebody asked me to build an entire house for them, even though there'd be good money in the end, I probably wouldn't take that opportunity because I don't have the resources to do so. So you don't want to stretch yourself thin to put yourself into in a losing situation. But it's incremental steps that you will grow. Just like your first job, you quote your first roof or your first landscape job, you're nervous as hell. That's something's going to go wrong. It goes okay, so let's do it again. It goes okay, let's do it again. Now there's a 9,000 square foot house. We can still do that, just a bigger scale.
So here's another fear that some people might have. I can relate. So if I go out and I finance this equipment, I take on all this, how can you guarantee you're going to keep getting those big jobs that are high paying? And what if shit goes down and then, now you got all these payments and how do you deal with that?
Well, I think the problem is with a lot of people, contractors especially, is they start making money, six-figure money, or even less than six-figure money, and then live above their means. They'll go right away and buy a nice house or a boat or a Corvette, and I see this all the time. And then you get in a place where you have to make X amount of dollars, which is the high amount to survive. And then you end up not paying your bills, losing your guys, whatever it may be. So you always want to make sure that your finances are in check. I mean, you know, it's got to be top on your mind and top on your priority list to grow your business, not your personal Gucci closet or your car collection.
Yeah. So you're doing 3.2 million this year, right?
Yeah, we'll do that in the roofing business.
In the roofing business, okay. And I can attest to what he's talking about because I joke. We've gone out to eat, and just now he's starting to. He paid for my lunch today. We ate some Mexican food, and he'd be like, "Oh shit, dog, I ain't got any cash on me, dog." And but you said in the beginning you literally cut up your credit cards, or you didn't keep any cash on you. Like you had some super frugal thing that you were doing. What was it?
Yeah, I've always done that, like have a savings account. You know, when I was first moving, you know, having a savings account where you have no ATM cards. I still have no ATM cards. I have one credit card, but I get a cash back. You know, it's 2% or 2.3% cash back. So that's what I use. I put everything on that. Plus it's a business write-off for each. So I have one for each of my businesses. But yeah, I mean, you gotta, you know, it's not for everybody, and that's how people fail, is they miss the misconception of how much money you have. You have to have enough for running costs. You know, in my business, I need 150 to 180,000 in running costs. I can't go below that because that's what it takes to run my business while I'm waiting for payment, paying my contractors. You constantly need 160, 180,000. Yours maybe more, maybe less, but you never can go below that gap, and you got to know what that gap is.
Okay. What percentage of your annual revenue do you reinvest into marketing and advertising altogether? And who also does your SEO, your marketing, your website, and all that? Because I know you don't have time to do it.
Right. So I have a company called Romeo Computer Company, RCC, that does my website. They do my SEO and my Facebook postings and all that. It costs me about $1,200 a month. That keeps me up on the rankings on Google. But as far as advertising, you know, I know a lot of people have this budget of 10%, 5%. I don't really have that budget. I pay Angie's List $2,800 a month. I know it sounds high, but
$2,800 a month for
I
Angie's
seriously make it on Monday. I mean, if you look at my stuff on Angie's List, it's what generates me cash, and that's how I created my. Without Angie's List, my business wouldn't be where it's at today. But when I got into Angie's List, it was a pivotal point for their business of growing, and I really went all in. But as far as advertising, I mean, we do so much work and the phone just rings. So right now we're not doing anything. Just pay the SEO, pay Google or Angie's List, and that's all we're doing. But in the beginning of the year, we'll send out flyers. I guess we make shirts. We have yard signs. But there's no set budget for me.
You're sending out, what is it, everyday direct mail or EDDM or something? You sent out like thousands of postcards. You did that this spring?
Yeah, every spring I do. So I send it to the 5 neighboring cities. We sent out 28,000
postcards.
Postcards.
How much did that cost you?
It was like $16,000 or something like that. But again, with the, you know, not to sound like whatever, but with the roofing margin, it's so high. That's 3 jobs. One siding job pays for that. You know, it's what we get off of it is we need such a little return to break even. And even if the people don't call, it's still, they see the logo, they see it in their neighborhood, they see the yard sign, they'll call next time.
So what's your best marketing advertising tip for somebody who doesn't have that type of a budget to invest in marketing? What is the best leverage thing that you can do to get people to call you?
I mean, knocking on doors is free. I still knock on doors. If I see a bad roof, I'll stop. I'll pull in the driveway. I'll knock on the door. I made videos about knocking on doors. You got a door knock. You can do Facebook. You can do local newspapers. Craigslist I would stay away from unless you want that low margin, because what I've found is it's extremely low margin. Whatever space you're advertising in or marketing in, you have to realize the demographic that you're marketing to and the competitors that are in that space as well. So on Angie's List, we have a very high margin because the ones that are dominating Angie's List keep that price high. So we all work together to make sure that we're the upper echelon of us are making, we're all quoting at the same price, give or take.
Okay, cool. And then the money coming in that comes into your main bank account, you're separating money for payroll and putting away for taxes. Like, you're not even paying quarterly taxes, you're paying monthly taxes now, right?
Monthly taxes. We're all on payroll now, so it took a long time to get here, but yes, every 2 weeks we get paid. I get a salary. Everybody is on payroll. Taxes are automatically taken out, sent to the IRS. We still have to pay high 5-figure margin at the end of the year because of the business that we do, but it's just part of doing business, man. You can only duck the tax man for so long.
I remember you called me last year. You're like, "No, I just had to use this huge check to the IRS," and
but that you got to think of it. And one of my guys that I recently brought to my, he's like my assistant. We just put him on payroll, and he's so used to getting paid cash because in this industry, cash is what it is. So when he's seen a few $100s or $1,200 come out of his commission check, he was like, "Oh shit," panicking. You really got to think about it. Without credit, you can't have nothing. You can't have a car. You can't buy a house. I said, in 2 years, dude, you can walk in and buy any car you want. You can get a finance for a house. You're on the map. You're a citizen that pays taxes and makes money, and you can prove that. It's not just cash sitting in your bank account. So it's really a evolving point.
You have to be able to make enough money to
for sure. This is not 1 year in. This is not 1 year in. This is evolving, progressing. Your insurances and licensing and all that stuff. And you got to build this business. So we all start under the system. We're all water under the bridge at the beginning, but eventually, and again, it's one of those things.
What is this guy talking about?
It's one of those things where it's just like, it's just like taking on work. You got to know, and people that don't pay their bills because they go buy, rides and stuff, but eventually you got to pay taxes, man. You have to become a citizen. There's only you got to be able to reinvest. If you want to buy apartments, I have an apartment building, we bought it, but the bank's not going to give you any money if you don't have a track record. They're not going to just hand out money to somebody that has 200 grand cash in their account and then another 100 grand in their mattress. That's not how the world works. So you have to bite the bullet, man.
There you go. All right, cool. We'll wrap up this video. That's Eric. And that's Eric.
This is Eric. And
yes.
That's Keith.
Yes, and that's Keith. So I'll put a link to his YouTube channel below if you're interested. He gives roofing tips and advice. He's got a call coming in, and we're about to go take some pictures of this roof right now and do some YouTube vlogging for him. Later.